As a group of people want to not just remind everyone, but celebrate what was its darkest day. But that is what Elon is doing all year.
A situation a century ago nearly ended the school, which has developed a national reputation for excellence. As Bob shows us in tonight's Buckley Report, it was all because of the spirit of the people who were there at the time.
History often turns on the decisions made in the heat of stressful times. And the town of Elon and its namesake university may never have had a more stressful day than January 18th, 1923. That was the morning when a student saw flames punching through the windows of what was called Main Building, which not only housed the school's administration, but some of its primary classrooms and most of its books and records. The school and the people who lived around it had a decision to make. Because it could have gone a different way.
We could have never rebuilt. The community could have said, well, let's get rid of that problem, that big school in the middle of the Oaks, let's just be done with it.
All the reports were that it was down and out, and if the community hadn't come together to save the university, we wouldn't be here today.
What's truly startling is how quickly that happened. By 10 o'clock on the morning of the fire, with smoke still billowing from the main building, the faculty had met and voted to keep classes going. The day after the fire, the college's trustees met and approved a building plan for the institution for the next 100 years. Those 100 years have come and gone, and the university is nothing like even they envisioned it in 1923. What was, for its first 85 years, a small regional school made up mostly of North Carolina students, is now ranked among the nation's best universities, drawing students from 49 states and 51 foreign countries. But that trajectory was anything but a foregone conclusion in the days after the fire.
Keep in mind, Elon did not have much money. The people who lived in it and the people who ran it, there was not a lot of money. So it couldn't have become what it is now without that community effort.
It's hard to tell where the school ends and the community begins.
If you look at the university as a whole, it's essentially a town within a town.
That was true a century ago as well, when the school and community raised the equivalent of more than $8.5 million in 3 years to rebuild, with everyone pitching in to salvage everything from the fire.
You had the Boy Scouts out here cleaning bricks because you had to reuse the bricks. Bricks were expensive. The bricks have become kind of its own character, its own student, if you will, on campus. The bricks tell us a lot about the history here.
They were used to build the Alamance building, central to the campus today, with both a new cornerstone to celebrate the new century and the original cornerstone from the main building that had burned. Although they didn't adopt the nickname the Phoenix until the 21st century, the idea was very much part of the DNA of the school when, in the months after the fire, the school's report to the Southern Christian Convention that founded Elon said, "No college ever rose more triumphant from the ashes than our Elon."
Rising from the ashes is something that Elon has been known for. That sense of resiliency, that we can do it together, I think has perpetuated over time. It's been fun to watch it over all these years.
You know, it's something that every alum can tell you that it's kind of baked into us.
And one they pass on to today's students with intention, students who each day touch the bell that was recovered from the fire's rubble so that the Elon way continues for another century.
If you don't refresh people's memory, I think they forget it.
Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.
Elon has events all semester long to commemorate the anniversary of the fire and the school and town's response to it. The next one is this upcoming Tuesday, March the 7th, which is the 10th annual Elon Day, where the university reaches out to the community for gifts to support the mission.